Rectangular back, this time with another review. Here from SOTA Toys we have the Charmed Series 2 Phoebe. So I'm not familiar with this TV show. I know that this is based on the character that Alyssa Milano played in the show, and basically just got this for ACBA. And yeah, so let's flip the package around. And she's one of 4 figures from the series. There was a Paige and Piper as well, both in these kind of skimpy outfits. Don't know what the scenario was, some sort of Roman Empire type of theme going on the show. And also they had this Leo character who I have no idea, but he looks like a Roman centurion. So 4 figures in the wave, and I guess they all came with their own display pieces that you could put together and build this pretty nice backdrop. Yeah, so these are 6" in scale. SOTA Toys, not even sure if they're still around anymore, but they are well known for making the Street Fighter figures, and these are very similar to the figures that Diamond Select made for the Buffy TV series. This came out in 2005. Okay, so let's go ahead and crack open the package and get a closer look at her. First off, I wanted to show the accessories that the figure comes with. It's got these nice little diorama pieces or backdrops or figure stands. First, it's got this really nice chair with a pillow, and it's kind of a burgundy color with some really nice gold dry brush on it with some gold accent there. They are sculpted on, it's not just painted on. Those little details there in the corners of the pillow, and it fits nicely there on the top of the chair. And it's got some heft to it. It's pretty heavy plastic. And this chair, it's got some really nice detail there on the front there with the lion's face and the paws that are carved into the feet of the chair. And really nice dry brush there. It's got kind of a bronze dry brush on a kind of a gray or charcoal colored plastic. And yeah, I think that's a really nice piece. Then we have this display base, which you have to buy all 4 pieces or figures from the set in order to build the large display background here. So it all kind of snaps together. This is one piece that the top snaps into the bottom. And pretty nice paint there with the green like moss or vines growing on it, and pretty well sculpted. Not a whole lot of shading detail on the rocks. Pretty much just a solid gray color, and but the marble, cracked marble there on the bottom is pretty nice with some white or light gray to accent the cracks, so that's pretty cool. Haven't quite decided if I would like to get the other figures to try to build this display stand, but they're a little bit more expensive than Phoebe. Really nice torch. Looks like it's glued on, so you could pop it off, I don't think without too much difficulty, but I don't think it's going to go back in without some glue. So keep that in mind if you're really looking for a nice torch to use in another display. Then it's kind of like this bamboo kind of like stage that they all come with, and I think there's multiple pieces they all just kind of piece together, and then a nice pair of stairs that go with it. Not a whole lot to it. It does have some really nice look to it, where it's kind of have a wood grain, so that's pretty cool. So that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and check out the figure itself. Alright, so here we have the figure out of the package, and other than the display base that she comes with and other parts for it, it just comes with these spare hands that just plug into her wrists there, just on a peg. No hinge, just a straight peg there, and pretty well sculpted. There's a little bit of extra plastic there on the edge, but yeah, kind of masculine looking there on the back, but overall pretty decent. I'm not gonna swap him out just because I don't really plan on ever needing to use her with fists. But they should pop off pretty easy. I would recommend trying to heat them up first just to make sure they don't break. I'll go ahead and move those out of the way. Pretty decent figure overall, especially for what I'm going to use her for, just a background character. You know, decent articulation, good, not great. Pretty well sculpted. It does have some pretty nice little touches there. These straps are a loose plastic there on the back and on her boots, so that's nice, kind of adds to the realism there. And some nice little lines that actually look like leather there in the sculpt. The soft plastic material there in her skirt, and on the bikini top also. It is got more, you know, sculpted line detail there, so it does look like it's skin of some kind, leather, and then it's got little lines with stitching there across the breasts, and some nice detail there with the rings and her necklace. It's painted pretty well. It's kind of a glossy green there, so it does look like a stone. It's just pretty nice. And then she's got these pretty cool sculpted bands on her arms. These are kind of soft leather pieces with plating. There is got a nice bronze color there, so, and little stitches holding them on to the leather, so pretty well sculpted. You know, not a whole lot shading on the, you know, flesh tone. It's all pretty much the same material, color, and there is a little bit of variation in the hair, slightly different light color brown there, so pretty nice. The face is painted really well. Hopefully it's going to show up on camera. Let's see if we can get the light a little bit closer. But she does have really well painted eyes with the eyelids, eyelashes, the eyebrows. The flesh tone is a little bit, I don't know if it's the paint or the sculpt, but it's a little bit chunky there around her face, so well, come on, focus. So it kind of looks like she has a slightly rough complexion there around her on her cheeks, but overall not too bad. I think they did a pretty good job of staying within the lines. Could be a little bit heavy-handed there on the flesh tone in some places, like where her hair connects to her head, and a lot of paint has flecked off. You can see there on the shoulders, on both sides, and yeah, no peg holes at the bottom of the feet, but yeah, pretty decent. Let's get into the articulation now. So her head is kind of similar to a like a WWE figure. It's got, or I think some of the other Mattel figures, it seems like it's got a peg in there, so it does rotate 360, but you can also have her tilt her head side to side slightly, which is nice, and she does look down pretty well. Looking up, the hair is kind of going to hinder the articulation, so she can't really look up too much, just pretty much straight. And yeah, and then on the shoulders go up pretty good amount and rotate 360. It's like a ball hinge. And then she has upper bicep swivel, which is nice that they incorporated it into that band, so it kind of hides the articulation there. And then she does double jointed elbows, which is really nice. You can have her holding something up to her head or face or mouth, so that's always really nice. Huge difference that can't do on a Marvel Legend with a single jointed elbow. So that's really nice piece of articulation there. Might be the most important really for doing ACBA. And same thing on the other side. The paint is pretty heavy-handed here, so I'm afraid to try to move the upper part of the joint, but the bottom joint can move pretty well. So, yeah, I'm just really hesitant to break her. So then the hands rotate, they're just on that peg, but again, no hinge, and no articulation in the torso. Oh, actually get a little bit of waist articulation there. There we go. God, I didn't even think that there was a waist joint, but wow, she does move. It's just pretty stiff. So cool, very cool. I didn't think that she had any articulation there, so that's very cool. Just had to crank on it a little bit harder than I thought. So pretty decent. The what's it called? The belt hides that piece of articulation pretty well, so I like that. And then no upper torso articulation, so just at the waist. And then she's got some unique hip joints there, ball jointed. You can see that. But the sculpt goes up and around, so it she can kick fairly high, but you kind of have to rotate it. So it's good, not great. It's a little bit hindered by the sculpt, and but it is nice that you kind of get the best of both worlds, where you get pretty decent amount of articulation and a really nice sculpt. You don't have like big, well, number one, the skirt's going to hide a lot of those ball joints, but I'd like to see this incorporated more on Marvel Legends, on some of the females that we've been getting. That Gamora could really have used something like this, where they really half-assed it on the movie Gamora. Double jointed knees, so those move really nice. And can't quite tell what color the plastic is. I think it's a lighter color than the flesh tone. And she does have a slight boot rotation. I'm kind of afraid to move it too much because it's kind of a soft joint. I don't want to break it. Single jointed back and forth there. No ankle rocker, so it's kind of disappointing. But they did give her a toe joint, so that's kind of a weird choice. I would rather have seen an ankle rocker than a toe joint, but that's just me. So pretty damn good articulation overall, considering this is I think this figure came out in 2005, so not too shabby at all. And especially, what I'm going to use her for is just a background character, so very happy. I think she does a much better job of being a slave Leia than the slave Leia we got from Hasbro. She's going to be a lot taller, and I'll throw in a couple of figures here for comparison. Okay, so here we have all these lovely ladies together for a little size comparison. You can see that she works really well with Marvel Legends. She's just slightly taller than a teenage character with the Spider-Girl there, and just a little bit shorter than the very robust Miss Marvel, who's probably one of the bigger females. She's not a She-Hulk, but she's definitely got some musculature to her. And that Princess Leia is just way too tiny. I think it needs to be closer to the Spider-Girl in size. But I figured I'd throw her in there since they were kind of similar looking. and then Elizabeth there on the right in the high heels and her tall hair. I think you take away the heels and the hair, she's probably the same size as Miss Marvel, if not shorter. But yeah, I think she works really well with 6-inch scale figures, and she's going to work great for what I want to use her for. Alright, with that, I will hand you over to Brock and hope that you're doing well. Later.
Hey you, don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Brock out.